What's up, everybody? You're watching Magnificent Builds, and I know I've been gone for a minute, but now I'm back, hitting you guys with another video. So today, I want to talk about what's next for the RSX. And before I do, I want to show you guys my current setup, just in case you're wondering, anybody wants to know what I've done to the car so far. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm running, and then we'll talk about what you can expect if you stay tuned to the channel. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, so I've had this car, this May will make about 10 years. So the first thing you noticed that I had done was the two-tone paint. I like this red and black style, and I got this done at Mako. I think it was like less than $1,000. So the paint is holding up pretty well, even though it's a Mako paint job. So that's the first thing you might notice about the car. Next thing is the wheels. I've had these wheels for so many years, I don't remember what kind of wheels they are, where I got them from. I've had them on this car forever. They got this DIP logo on them, so you can look it up for yourself. But basically it's 18 inches all around. Just a factory width with an 18-inch wheel. And my tires, 225, 45, 18. The next thing you'll notice is my suspension. My coilovers are from Rev 9. They're called the Hyper Street 2. And they're pretty low-end coilovers. I don't recommend you guys go cheap on suspension. I should have got better suspension. They actually had a good break-in period of a couple of months before it got soft enough to drive. The first day I put them on, it was so stiff, I couldn't even drive the car. It was like being in a semi-truck. But I just kept going on short trips for the next couple of months, and they kind of broke in and softened up. So now they're decent. But suspension is one thing I don't recommend going cheap on. So yeah, I should have got some better suspension, but that's in the works. All right, let's talk about the front end. I got these projector headlights off Amazon. I don't know the brand. It's just an off-brand projector headlight that I thought was pretty cheap, but it still looked pretty good. Big improvement over factory. And I did a headlight video, so you guys can check that out. And I got the yellow fog lights to complete the front end with the Type S badge, because no Acura is complete without a Type S badge. Next up, I got a 2.5-inch catback exhaust. This is a cheap, no-name exhaust I got off eBay. So to me, I don't really believe in spending a lot of money on exhaust because it's all about the flow. Meaning it's all about the diameter. I don't really care who makes the exhaust. As long as it's mandrel bent, it's stainless, and it's got the diameter, and this is a 2.5-inch exhaust, it sounds pretty nice. So, I mean, really, when you're riding down the street, you can't tell the difference between a name brand exhaust and an off-brand exhaust, so it doesn't really matter to me as long as it flows. And for the interior, as you can see, I got the NRG quick release steering wheel. So this is pretty cool. You can take this thing out with these paddles, take it with you when you leave your car. It's lighter than stock, so you save a little bit of weight, and it looks nicer. As for under the hood, the only thing I have is this Spectre cold air intake that you can get at your local auto parts store. It's pretty basic. I pieced this together and I had to use, I don't know if you can see it, but I had to use the shorty filter because I didn't have a lot of room to route this intake, being it's not made for this car. But I improvised a little bit and made it work. So it's bigger than the stock intake. And as you can see, it's routed to a colder spot underneath the battery. So it'll do what I need for now. All right, so first up on the list, we got to get the oil cooler. I remember I told you guys I had some cooling issues previously, and I'm getting ready for the summer, and I don't want any problems this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil cooler, try to get the engine temperatures down a little bit more, so when I get stuck at a light on a really hot day, I won't have any issues. So the oil cooler, that's up first. Next up, it's time to make some power. So we're going for the K-tuned header with the test pipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mod so the car can breathe better. There's gonna be full intake and exhaust, full bolt-ons, and eventually we're gonna get it tuned, try to get it 300 wheel horsepower. So that's gonna be the next mod. We gotta get that K-tuned header. The next thing after that is gonna be intake manifold and throttle body kit. So like I said, I plan on keeping the car NA, so it's all about improving the car's flow for intake and exhaust, getting more air into the engine, but keeping it reliable, being naturally aspirated. So we're gonna go ahead and get the intake and exhaust. And I'm debating on should I get Skunk 2 or RBC, but either way, the intake and throttle body will be the next mod after that. And then after that, injectors and a K-tuner. I don't really need injectors, but eventually I will. So especially when I get all the other mods, so I might as well go ahead and get them now, especially since I'm gonna get the car tuned at this point. So I'll go ahead and get injectors and get the K-tuner, because down the road when I'm trying to get 300 wheel horsepower, I will need those injectors. So I may even need a fuel pump, but we'll see how much I can get without a fuel pump. Next after that is going to be the engine build. So the engine build is going to consist of, first off, forged rods and pistons. And like I said, guys, I'm going to be doing all this on the channel, all these installs myself on the channel. So stay tuned because these videos are coming. So I'll be installing new rods and pistons in the engine. And while I got the head off the engine, I'm going to go ahead and throw some stage 1 cams in there, probably from Drag Cartel. As far as the rods and pistons, I don't know who I'm going to get them from just yet. But yeah, definitely going to get forged rods and pistons. I want to get 13-to-1 compression. I want to go for a high compression build. So definitely with the ARP head gasket, possibly even ARP head studs. Like I said, I won't really need to sleeve the block or anything because I'm not going to be adding boost right now. So rods and pistons, head studs, head gasket, I should be good for the bottom end. Throw some cams in the top end. I'm only going to go with stage 1 because I don't want to have to redo the valve train. I don't want to have to get new valves and all those other things. So I'm going to stick with the stage 1 cams. You can use a stock valve train with those. So with all that being said, my final goal for horsepower is 300 wheel horsepower. So if I have to, I'll get a fuel pump, probably a Walbro. But if I can get to 300 wheel horsepower in a stock fuel pump, that's the goal. So after all those parts, we get another tune and we'll see what happens. So that's it, guys. That's what's in store for the car. Let me know your suggestions, your comments. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because all these installs are coming up.